Good morning, everyone. I literally just washed my face and ran to my desk to, uh, because I am at the tail end of Lilac and I cannot wait to finish her. Welcome. Welcome if you're back, and welcome if you're new. Stay here because the craziness of this opening will catch up shortly. I'm happy you're here. Here we go. Here we go. It's Lilac. She's coming to the end. Look at this beauty. Where am I in the right spot? Okay, so I have been working on this even though I have not been feeling well. Yesterday, I was in bed till almost noon. And let me tell you, I have not done that since I was 21 and I was out clubbing. I have not been in bed for, till noon. And I got, my husband gets up every morning at 7. He's out the door before then. My husband gets up every morning at 5 a.m. And I'm usually up with him. And he came in the bedroom and he's like, "You're not up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I was up." He's like, "I thought I heard you rumbling around the hallway." And I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm just tired." He's like, "All right, go ahead, go back to bed." So, you know, uh, for him, I have to force him to have time to himself, where he just has the morning to himself, where I'm not like behind him and talking and making coffee and like because he's going out the door, and I know he's got his own anxieties with walking into a job that you never know what's happening from day to day. He's at the post office, so you know you just never know what's going to be going on there. And so I got him to really enjoy being alone with his mornings. So even though I'm up, I don't come downstairs with him because again, he likes this time to himself to like maybe read if he wants to read before he goes out the door, or write. He does writing also, or whatever it is that he's doing, just before he gets into the craziness of a job that is loud. When you walk in, it's loud. It's production, and then he's in this 4-ton truck the rest of the day. Anyway, back to Lilac here. I believe today is the 16th. I did some writing this morning, and I believe today is the 16th. It's Thursday, if I'm wrong. And I believe that Jingle Drills is starting tomorrow, and that's not why I'm rushing this. And I'm not rushing this. I'm excited. I'm excited, you guys. It's always exciting for me to start a canvas, like I'm sure it is for you guys, and it's always exciting for me to come to the end of a canvas. And there's a lot, there's a lot of introspection that goes on with me when I am picking a canvas, and just as much when I finish it. And so I will be catching you up on all that when we either I do another video before I start Jingle Drills, or maybe I go into that with Self-Care Sunday. So, and speaking of Self-Care Sunday, a few of you, Tamra and Cindy, went out and got books, which made my heart so happy. Whether it was Mark Nepo, or Mark Nepo's Book of Awakening, or if it was Kathleen Abrams' Journal to the Self. And I have to tell you, since I pulled that book out again, because I always just do the 100 list, I've used it a few times this week, helping me troubleshoot some things that are, they seem to be reoccurring in my life. And I thought that they have, already been processed, but I was kind of foolish to think that, because, I think when it's family and holiday and grief, and that could be a hard one. So, I'm not one to mask feelings. I don't try to like self-medicate in any way. I was down that road for years where, smoking was my thing when I was stressed. I once quit for 20 years and then one day just opened a pack of cigarettes. I was like, this is the day that I start smoking again. And that was just a few years ago when I was, was it pre-pandemic? Yep, it was pre-pandemic. I was just so stressed. And I think any kind of addiction is always there. It's always lingering in the background. But I finally went through my process and kicked it. Even my dad having cancer, even, him going through his struggles, my dad died at 83 a few years ago, but he was from that generation where they were smoking at a very young age. And my ex-mother-in-law was the same way, the 100 cigarettes, the 100s, and, 2 at a time. She died one out and light another one right away. So, even with everything that we went through with him, and his brother also had the struggle with having cancer and, still, wanting that cigarette, isn't it? It's just so interesting to me, those parts of our mind that can just have us, they just turn on. It's like they light up like a switch, and you might be able to turn them off for a while, but it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And the only thing that I could say this time around where I know that I am done with it is that I had to just grow up, and just be like, what are you running from? And that you think is inside this, pack of cigarettes that, you're, if you need to take a breath, then go sit down and take a breath, but put the cigarettes down. They're just so bad for you. And we know this, and I'm not lecturing anyone. If you're still there and you still, believe me, I will say a prayer for you. If you're really struggling with any kind of addiction, I will say a prayer for you, and hope that this helps you. The diamond painting helps you relax your mind and unwind and find some peace and serenity by focusing your mind on something else instead of, getting up and getting a drink, getting up and getting a cigarette, or, I had to even turn a lot of my social stuff off, like media and TV, and I was a home shopping addict. Come on, please. I knew all my delivery men intimately, and I used to feel bad with all the packages I used to have coming to my house. And, I do it now. I still go onto my phone and I shop for stuff, and then I don't empty the cart. I go back and I empty the cart. I just go back and I'm like, I look through it and I'm like, I don't need any of this stuff. But it was fun. It was a little exercise. It gave me that boost. But 9 times out of 10, when I would hit to go check out for whatever it was that I was shopping for, I'd even forget I ordered it. It would come to the door and I'd be like, what the heck? What is this? I don't even remember. So, I'm glad I beat that habit too. Oh. My coffee. I think my husband, before he left to take the car, it's his day off today, and do you believe he had to go take the car to go get the transmission fixed, and he didn't even know if he was going to make it from point A to point B, and he got me coffee before he left, which was not part of my plan, you guys, because before I, went down for the count, mental exhaustion is what I'm not feeling well about. I had did a video. Be nice if you could see what I'm doing. I had did a video on I was cleaning my kitchen and I found this Starbucks mug. And if anything, I used to love to collect in Starbucks some of their drinkware, but they always used to have these little tags that they would have out for the blend that they were serving. And they were I still have them. I should try and find them. But for me, they were a color palette reference. I would use them as, listen, Starbucks says great marketing. And I would use these little cards that they would attach to the coffee bag as a inspiration for a color palette. And plus I kept them. They were like, for me, they were like trading cards. They were like collectibles. But I was going through my cabinet and I found this mug and I was like, oh wow, this was like the biggest thing when I found this mug. Because back in the day, when I was only making coffee out of my grandmother's pot perked, or out of my electric Mr. Coffee pot, that was the only way to make coffee. That was it. You had your electric Mr. Coffee, and you had your perked coffee on the stove. But someone came out with this basket that would sit on top of your coffee mug. It was a little basket, and you put your coffee filter in there, and you did your very rudimentary pour over coffee. And this was a big thing for us, to be able to make one cup of coffee and not make a whole pot, and not have the coffee sitting on the burner. That you had to always remember, did I turn the coffee pot off, or am I going to burn the house down? God forbid. But that was like a big thing, and the coffee was good. Of course, it was pour over coffee. You were, blooming your coffee in this little nest, and you were probably getting a better drip coffee than you were out of your Mr. Coffee, because if you remember, when you put the coffee filter in the Mr. Coffee basket, it would just make a hole, because the water would come straight down and you'd see a hole in the coffee grinds. This way, you were actually running your pot around all the coffee grinds, and it was wonderful. It was great. What number am I working on? Okay, 9. I get chatty, I forget. And I found a mug in Starbucks that was a mug with a really nice basket on top. And it was like the biggest thing for me. I think I bought one for all the women in my family, because we're all coffee fanatics. And, to have that like that. And I said, oh, I'm going to do a what's in the cup. And I filmed the whole thing for you guys. And then when I went back and watched it, I found this cup because I was cleaning. In the background was all my kitchen looked like it had exploded with cleaning stuff, and there was my broom, and my dustpan was on the floor, and all the stuff that I had picked. I was like, oh no, I cannot. This cannot be the background of what. Did I not see this when I was filming? No, because I'm so excited about things like coffee and diamond painting that I was like, no, this can't be. I'm going to have to film this again. I planned on doing it today. And John walked in with my coffee. So I have to say, though, when I made it that day, it really was something wonderful to have it. Another type of pour over. I didn't do pour over in my own cafe, because I lived in New York when I had my cafe. And, I will tell you one thing about New Yorkers, boy. And I learned this real fast. They have no time. They do not linger at all. If there's ever, God forbid, anything going on the road, you know how people rubberneck, all of a sudden the cars by. New Yorkers are not like that. They'll go right by you. They don't care. They go right by. There's never a traffic jam in New York. Not that I've been in some traffic, but they don't care. They just keep going. And when I had my cafe, being that I brought a lot of things with me, a lot of people that I loved here in Philadelphia, like House of Tea, like Gilda's Biscotti. I served La Colombe coffee. These are all Philadelphia staples. And I brought this to New York with me. And I was very proud of my cafe and my hometown. And, when someone would ask me what something was, I would want to give you the full story, and they would just, after 3 words, they walk away. That's a New Yorker. So if this was a cupcake and you asked me about that cupcake, I already knew that you knew that was a cupcake. So I would say vanilla rose frosting. That's it. Now, in the meantime, they can give you the whole story on what that cupcake was, vanilla, real vanilla bean, the rose flavorings. My extracts came from Paris. They were pure extracts. There was a lot more to that. They don't care. 3 words. If you go to 4, they're out. Like a baseball game. And so I didn't do pour over coffee. So on my block alone, on Sullivan Street, was myself, well, down the street was Local, another coffee shop, and he was an actor. I think I told you guys this before, like for, I don't know, CSI or SUV or one of those shows. And I actually, his wife actually came into the place that I worked at, and I made their rubber stamp for them, which was a tree. And then the coffee shop across the street was Once Upon a Tart, which was very well known and was very touristy. A lot of tourists wanted to go to Once Upon a Tart. And then I think it was called Blue Bottling Company. I'm getting them confused with another place that opened, like Blue Ribbon. But Blue Bottling Company opened, and they were doing pour over, and I love their coffee. Their coffee was very robust. But I knew that anybody that was in there was a tourist, because there was no New Yorker that was in there that was waiting for a pour over coffee. Even if they had the day off, they weren't in there waiting for their coffee to pour over. Number 2. So if you're wondering about this piece of washi tape, if you missed it, that I have on my tray. So this was a tip that I was not even on a diamond painting site. I was just on an art site, and actually it was a gentleman who's like a scientist or something, or he's a science guy, I don't know. And he was talking about how this reduces the static. Because do you ever notice when you come to the end of your drills, like this is the end of the road for me. I'm coming into the last of my drills, and they all start to sandwich together. That's not happening here. But what I love about this trick is my extra drills stay in the corner or anywhere I want, but all these rows are mine. There's no drills hanging around. They're mine, all mine. My husband would deliver to this residence, and the little kid would always run to the door because he wanted to know who the package was for. And my husband was so excited one day to tell him, I think his name was Jake, that the package was for him. And he said to my husband, "Mine? All mine?" And he said, "Jake, it's yours, all yours." And his mom came to the door, and she was like, "Oh my God, he's answering the front door. He loves you. He loves your mail truck." And my husband went to the post office, and he got him a postal truck. And so when he went to deliver to the house again, he gave it to Jake, and Jake was like, he said, "Jake, I have a package for you, and it's yours, all yours." And the kid said it again, "Mine, all mine?" My husband said yes. And it was the postal truck. And my husband said that when he sees him out with his mom in his little stroller, he's got the truck and the stroller with him. I'm like, oh my gosh, how sweet. Something's going on outside my house. This is like Home Depot way. There's never not some kind of home development improvement going on at someone's house here. And I don't even want to get up and know what is going on now. I hope you don't hear that rattling in the background. So, could this timing have been any more perfect to be coming into the end of Lilac, which I know she's gonna be done today. I think I'm trying to play. Okay, too much coffee. Hold on. I think I am trying to play Beat the Clock right now because I know my husband's going to be coming through the door. I might just let the tape go and you guys can get the full effect here. What was I thinking about last night? Oh, Diamond Art Club. They're just, oh my God. I mean, now it's the Black Friday drop. So they had a train, and my husband, when we first met, he's an avid reader. And okay, now the name is going to just jump out of my head who the author is. Well, he had this book from when he was a child. And he said, I want to read you this story. And I was like, well, I'll read it. And he's like, no, I want to read it to you. And my husband is a great reader. He like does the parts and all. Like he just, this was a thing that we did when we were first dating, and he'll still do it now. You know, if I say to him, will you read me? You know, whatever. So, oh my God, the gentleman's name. I get so mad at myself because it's on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of it. But anyway, the name of the story was of missing persons, and it's set in New York, and it's about a gentleman who wants the golden ticket out of New York, but not just out of New York, to a place named Verna, where everything is like the Garden of Eden. And so this became the theme for our relationship, creating our Verna, you know, closing out the world, and, you know, we can create our own Verna. And I tell you guys this all the time, create the world that you want to live in. And so Diamond Art Club, I saw that they had, I don't know if it's a new artist, it might be because there's only one of his paintings, but it was of a train, and the number 18 was on it. That's my husband's birthday, and I thought, oh my God, our train to Verna. But it's actually a mining train. Now, I might do this one anyway because it has such a personal, even though it's a mining train. I haven't shown it to him yet, but Jack, I'm trying to think of the author's name. Oh my God. So it's a beautiful story. It's a wonderful story. It's an uplifting story. And every time someone had, I think it was Megan Diamond Painting when we had first met, and she had, you know, announced to her listeners that she had found my channel and to check me out. And she was talking about my living room and the piano and all that. And I was telling John, and he's like, honey, you know, our Verna, someone noticed our values and the world that we created for ourselves in here. Because, you know, when I met John, the baby grand piano was not here. But it was something that John, anywhere that he delivers to, if there's a piano, and he delivers to a lot of the schools in Center City, Philadelphia, a lot of the academies, and, you know, he will ask, you know, what's the worst that he can hear? No. And he will say, do you mind if I play a song on the piano? And they'll be like, oh, no. So he had a customer, and he had noticed that she had a baby grand, and she lives on one of the smaller streets, and all the neighbors know him, and, you know, he's been delivering in these areas for years. And he was like, oh my God, you have a baby grand? She's like, yes, it was my husband's. Nobody's played it since he's passed on. My girls are all grown up and they're married with children of their own, and none of them want it. And he's dying. He's like, if you ever decide, and I know it's sentimental, it was your husband's, to part with this, and you probably won't, because it's hard to move a piano, And when we got married in Center City at around the corner at a restaurant from her. She came and delivered a bottle of champagne for us, and he was like, "Oh my God, this is the woman with the baby grand piano I'm always telling you about." And she said, "John, if you want the piano, it's yours." Do you believe that? So that's how we got the baby grand piano. We had it moved. We keep inviting her over for dinner because my husband wants to play the piano and I love to cook, and but she's not yet taking us up on the offer. But we want her to see the piano in our home. We want her to we want to thank her for it. But I'm trying to get my coffee in before it turns cold, but I'm too late. I'm too late, and I'm not making another cup. Oh boy, it's so exciting. What else did I want to tell you guys? I have a few things. I'm trying not to tell you everything because they have to do with Self-Care Sunday. But I was telling you that I did pick up my journal book again, Journal to the Self, and I was like, I'm going to do another 100 on diamond painting. And I think I have in this go around 111. So it's a writing exercise, and the exercise is to think, oh my gosh, what is going on? To think of anything. So anything that you want, anything that you like, anything you don't like, whatever. So I chose the topic to be diamond painting, and I wrote 100 things I like about diamond painting. And you might think, I can't think of 100 things that I like about diamond painting. You can, and you'll be surprised. You'll find even more things that you like about diamond painting. You can repeat some stuff. The exercise is to just focus your mind on one thing, siphon off the things that you know that you love about something, anything, and then get down to the meat of it. And I thought about something else today, but because I didn't write it down, it's gone. It's gone. So I have that coming up for Self-Care Sunday, that list. And I have an introspection and review on Lilac coming up. That you might find interesting if you dive a little bit deeper into your meditative arts that you do. I wanted to tell you too, speaking of art, I not only was cleaning my kitchens and stuff and finding stuff, but I was rummaging through my subscriber list, people that I don't listen to anymore, just subscriptions that I have that are just clogging up, the people that I do want to get first on my list. And there was a young woman that I used to watch all the time when I was doing a lot of rubber stamping, and I believe it's K Werner Design. I will put her link on the bottom. And what number is this? 4. She does rubber stamp art, but she really makes them come alive, which is interesting. And she did the cutest, I don't know if anybody makes their own cards. I do. She made the cutest winter scene Christmas card. Now, I'm sure this is just, a keepsake for herself or for someone special, but she rubber stamped a Christmas tree and all these little animals decorating it. There's some masking that goes on with it. That's where you make a copy of the image that you have rubber stamped, and you put it on top so that when you stamp something over it, it makes it look like it's behind the image. So, like, in other words, she stamped a little fox, and then she put a mask on top of it, an exact image, and then she stamped a step ladder so that when she took the mask off, it looked like the step ladder was underneath him. And I'm telling you, it's probably about 20 minutes long, this video. But she said it took her like 3 hours. But it's an art. You know, you might be saying 3 hours to design a card. It's an art. The way that she laid out this little scene, the way that she shades and creates the scene, it was so beautiful. And how she like paints the little faces on the animals and just makes them come alive. It's just, even for relaxation, you know, sometimes I need to I mean, and it's good to expose yourself to other crafts too, because that's how you get your ideas. That's where I found this little tip with the washi tape, you know. I've never seen anybody else diamond painting do this little trick with the washi tape with an explanation to it. I'm going to like take the paragraph that the gentleman wrote about putting the washi tape and how it cuts the static. I'll put it down below, because I just found it in my pictures. I'm like, oh, there's that information that I was looking for when I was doing the video about how it cuts the static. I stuck it in my photos and not on my clipboard. Eventually I find things. And so I have some other things that I'm giving up. Like I told you guys, I was president of a club that I mean, I love the club. I love my team members, but I think it's time to pass the baton and let someone else be in charge, because I've just outgrown it, you know. And I'm there for the people. I'm there for the friendships that, you know, a lot of us call each other. We do video calling, and, you know, one of my players was like, I don't know, I just met you, and, you know, we have so much in common. I'm like, we do. We really do. You know, she's like, if you're ever out this way, I'm like, it's a shame. I used to go out to Washington all the time. Washington is a crazy place. Washington, D.C. Crazy, but so dynamic. So much energy. Like New York, but not like New York, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I used to go out, I was actually thinking about putting a restaurant there at one time. But so expensive. Wow. Really, I think even more expensive than New York. And I think too, there's that element in New York where you, I mean, probably, you know, New Yorkers being in a rush is probably the worst thing that I can say. You know, it's a myth that New Yorkers are short and curt and that they're rude. They're not. It's the tourists that are rude. I got news for you. If you ask a New Yorker for directions, or, you know, they're never ever, you know, like, get a map or something like that. I anytime I was lost, I had people walk up to me and say, "Are you lost?" And I'm like, "Yes." And they're like, "Where are you trying to go?" And it was always a New Yorker. You know, I find New Yorkers to be very friendly. Just that they're just, and this is what I love about New Yorkers. They're just very aware of time. They're just super aware of time, and they're super aware of where they got to go and what they're doing, and they just stay on point. They just stay the course. I'll tell you, and it's a good thing. You know, my family was in New York. I was a block away from 9/11. I was not at my apartment, but I looked out the window and I saw the World Trade Center when I was there. You know, my family was in New York when that happened, and they walked over the Brooklyn Bridge to get out of Manhattan, because there were no more ferries or anything else going out to the island, going out to Staten Island. And when I think about that, when I think about my family walking over the bridge, I don't know that I would have been able to do it. I don't know. I think I would have been scared to death because of what was going on. So, but they just keep barreling through. New Yorkers they're fighters, that's for sure. They are fighters. So I'm getting ready to pick up my ABs. I think I'm going to take my Dreamer Design AB tool that came with this kit, and that's this guy here. I usually don't put wax in here. I usually just dip it in the water, pick up the drill. It doesn't want to pick up. Today it doesn't want to pick up. And I had this problem before. Okay, so I don't know that this cone shape, see, it's not taking the wax. Am I in the shot? It's not taking the wax. Does it only take their own wax? Because this is Diamond Art Club wax. And let me tell you, Diamond Art Club wax drove me crazy. I felt like all I did was fill my stylus. Really. Dreamer Design has a much better wax. We're just going to play games today, are we? Okay. So, all right, the cone part doesn't want to pick up. Something else that I should tell you guys about this particular painting. If you are interested in it at all, it is on low order. It's there's low stock left last time I checked, because I went over to Dreamer Design just to see what was going on over there, and I wanted to see other Curtis Reikovich's pieces. I think what drew me into Dreamer Design was that I saw his they had things on sale, and one of them was the Queen of Hearts. So cute. She's a blonde. Her hair is pushed back. She's got this little crown on her head, and she's holding a little rabbit, and he's got a trumpet, and there's cards with hearts in the background. I was like, this is really cute. Would I want to do this for Valentine's Day? And I started to think about it, and now it's picking up. I guess because I'm not thinking about it. And I went over and I said, well, what other designs does he have? I don't know. No, it's not him. They have another artist that has the most adorable Alice in Wonderland. And, you know, I'm having this like little bit of love affair with Alice that I never had before. I always collected rubber stamps with Alice in Wonderland, but just wasn't my thing. But now all of a sudden I'm like into Alice in Wonderland. I don't know, I'm catching up. My childhood is catching up to me. I don't know. When I looked at this and it said low stock, I looked at a few other things that he had, and it said get notified, and I said, all right, let me put this on my wish list and to be notified. And when I went to go put my email address in, you got the get notified. I clicked that, but when it took you over to put your email address in, it said, sorry, this item has been archived. It will not be reproduced again. I'm like, what? This is one of their biggest artists that they have over there. Then I looked at another artist that I like, and I was like, oh my God, look at these print. He does a lot of textiles. David, his last name begins with a G. I don't know how to pronounce it. I could see it in front of me, but I don't know how to pronounce it, and I don't want to murder his name. He's got these beautiful textiles, and they go for thousands of dollars. Beautiful paintings. I could not even believe that Dreamer Designs had his designs in a diamond art canvas. And I was like, oh God, I gotta have this. I'm gonna put this on my wait list. And it's like, sorry, this item has been archived. It will not be offered again. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? I emailed them. They did not get back to me. You know, because they have like, can we help you come up while you're on their site? And yes, you can. Can you answer this question? And no one has gotten back to me. So I'm not too cool with that. I'm not too cool with that. I don't like that. I'm asking you a question, and I think after a couple of days, you should be giving me an answer. But no, and I don't know if this is like a really genius marketing that they're doing. Like, hey, our artists only do a certain amount of prints, and if you don't get them, you don't get them. I mean, that's genius marketing, because if you really want something, you're going to get it, and you're going to put it in your stash, and or maybe you're going to sell it. I certainly went looking for prints. I only found one on eBay, and it wasn't the one that I wanted, and kind of bummed. I really wanted this one print, and they're not gonna reproduce it. So if you were thinking Lilac is for me, I know now. When I went there the other day, it said low stock. I don't know what's happening. I know that they still have crimson. I went looking on their site, to see, like, well, if you like our artist designs, get them while you can, because we don't reproduce them. Are they making, maybe they don't want one artist to monopolize their company. That could be it too. I don't know. But like I said, I think it's genius. I think it's genius. If you like it, get it. The other thing with Diamond Art Club, now that they're doing their Black Friday drop early, this is the new thing too. Now, Black Friday is a week ahead of time. Yeah, a week ahead of time. And not even being dropped on a Friday. I was thinking about where I'm going. I bought Lilac and Crimson together because I love them both, and I wanted them both to be part of my holiday decor. So I was thinking, now that this is coming to an end, how am I going to display this? Now, I have some pretty washi tape. This reminds me of like those candies, those Christmas candies, or like a candy cane. It's very cute. It fits the theme. But I was thinking, am I going to do the paint on this one, where I paint it? Because I'm telling you, I am even taking into consideration this scalloped edge here, which I think is adorable. I think it's adorable. I think it's part of the framing, like what I see in my mind. Like when I look at Lilac and Crimson, and I think about them hanging in my home for the holiday, they're kind of cartoonish, and it kind of reminds me, like, if you walked into a cartoon, that these would be like ancestors that were hanging on the wall. I mean, really, they're just so adorable, really adorable. And I'm really thinking about how I want to display them. And I want to display them together. Now, when I was done with Haunted, I had a very pretty wide washi tape that went around the border. And I was able to then take my museum tack it to the corners very discreetly, and I just tacked it to, I have a big bow window, and she was in my window along with my Halloween decor. And my husband, when he was driving down the street, he came in, he said, "We got the best decorated window." I was like, "Oh, stop it. I love that you're my biggest fan." And he said, "No, you don't understand. I was coming down the street, in the truck, and my eye caught the window because I see these sparkles coming out of the window." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, you got to go outside. Well, you did this at night when you hung it. Go outside and look at our window." And I was like, "Oh my God," it was just glittering off the window. It was so pretty. And then at night, like when you get that golden hour where, the sun is passing over your house, and it has a different effect. And then at nighttime, my lights go on, and it had a totally different effect. If you were walking by my house, you would stop and look at this witch in the window that's all glittery and sparkly. So I do maybe I haven't done enough Diamond Art Club, even though I've been accused of like only doing Diamond Art Club, which I've done other companies, other distributors of diamond art, like, you know, Crafties and Diamond Painting Shop and Diamond Dots and Maker's Mark. So, you know, but, you know, Diamond Art Club is the leader because they're in charge of those drills, I believe. And, you know, just consistency. Consistency is key. When you are consistent with your product and your customers know what they're getting, they're coming back. You know, they're coming back. But I don't always want a shiny, glittery diamond painting. How do you guys feel about that? You know, like I look at this and there's accents of these AB drills that are in her fur, but and she's very vibrant with all the different shades of pinks and purples. But then there's this watercolor effect that's happening in the background that's very muted, but it's still there, you know. There's not so much sparkle going on that it's overwhelming in any way. I just want to make sure I'm in the shot. I'm not. I'm not, but I'm looking at her beautiful face on my camera phone, and you know, she's just gorgeous. She really is. She's just so stunning. What is in the way here? What is it? Oh, is it the camera leg? Oh, it's the camera leg. Look at that hair. And this gorgeous brooch that's in her hair with the bow. Oh my God, just so stunning. I can't with this. I can't with this painting. I can't. So, you know, I was just thinking that though I love Diamond Art Club's consistency, and I want a little, I'm putting it out there again. Somebody please make a drill that's distressed. I want to do a diamond, like, just hear me out here. I want to do a fresco-like diamond painting. Can you imagine? Because I've done fresco art with rubber stamp. So I have Botticelli's Venus in a rubber stamp, and I do a technique where it looks like a fresco with acrylic paints. And watercolor paints. And could you imagine if you had like distressed drills that gave you that effect, that it was like almost on a fresco? Like there wouldn't be glittery, shiny embellishments on the diamond painting. It would just look like it was aged. And just think of it, like if it was hanging on your wall and, you know, people couldn't decipher if it was a painting. Like, how did you do that? Like, they have to just get up on it to see. Oh my God. These, like, you put all these little different color squares or round drills on a canvas, and it, what? You know, how many drills are on here? Like my husband still cannot believe these are thousands of diamond drills that I am placing on this sticky surface to create, even though you could see the image, to create this effect. He's I always talk about it because he's always so blown away. He's always so blown away. We actually did a, we actually had a conversation, John and I, when I completed Van Gogh's irises. And because it was his favorite artist, because we had just gone to the Barnes Museum and we went to go see, you know, all the art that's in there. It was just incredible. If you come to Philadelphia, okay, everybody wants to go see the Liberty Bell and all that, go to the Barnes Museum, especially if you love art. You will just be blown away at it is the largest private collection. And if you can't get to the Barnes Museum, get the film, The Art of the Steal, and just look at Barnes's collection and how he chose the art. He has got art that museums don't have. It's incredible. And he has Van Gogh's Postman. And we both love that. Not because John is a postman, but I just love everything about that painting. I love his little uniform, his little navy blue uniform, his little hat, his little face. I love that. And so when I was finished with Iris's, John and I, he's like, when you finish with this, we are sitting down with a glass of wine, a glass of champagne, and I'm going to toast you and this artwork because it's gorgeous. And we did. And I filmed it. I don't think you see us. You just hear us talking about Van Gogh. And I didn't have many followers then. And it did go on my Facebook page. And my friends were like, oh, you and John have to do this more often. Like, you two are so interesting when you were talking. And, you know, we really enjoyed hearing you both. And I haven't done it again. I you know, we haven't sat down again and had a conversation, even though, you know, like I said, my husband likes to read to me. He likes to read these books from his childhood. And Jack Finley of Missing Persons. See, he came to me. So we have these discussions sometimes, him and I, when we're just sitting here and we're talking, and then we look at each other and we're like, we should have taped that. not for YouTube, but for ourselves, because we're both very introspective and we're both very philosophical. And he'll say, like, what did you say about, like, when we were talking about, and I'm like, I don't know, it's gone. It's gone. He's like, you made such a good point there. We should have taped it. I'm like, yeah, I know. We really have to think, like, our phones are both sitting next to us, that when we're having these discussions, to really capture them, because when he retires, he wants to do his philosophy lectures. He's a huge individualist, and he's a huge Ayn Rand fan, and he wants to start doing that, you know. And even last night, he was sitting here and he was trying to learn a song, and he was, you know, he has his own way of processing it. And as I was diamond painting, I was like, oh, good, I get music in the background. You know, I get to hear my husband play, and he's not in his studio. And I get to hear his process of what he's doing, because he will, you know, either speak out loud, or he will be talking to me, and he'll be asking me for feedback. So I was like, you know, you really need to, I know you want to do your philosophy lectures, but this is something else that you could do. Absolutely. You know, if this is your process of how you learn a song, I'm sure it would be helpful to someone else. So, you know, I kind of lit a fuse there. I think I planted a little seed. You guys, I really thought I was going to get this done. I really thought I was going to get this done in this sitting. But I don't think so. And I don't want this to run any longer than an hour. And there's still, like, the braid in her hair that needs to be done. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. So if you made it this far, let me know. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to finish it on with another whip? Or do you just want to see it done? Because I could get Crimson out, and I could begin to section her off with the washi tape. I have to take starting photos. I was thinking about what I have also, as I was putting things in my cart for, like, Dreamer Design and, like, Diamond Art Club. I'm like, are you crazy? What are you doing? You're in bed till noon because you have mental exhaustion, and you're putting things in your cart. Because I have this, and then I'm going to go right into Crimson. And I still have Foxy Lady, and Bud, the tabby cat, comes out on a Sunday. He's once a week. He's over there looking at me. Where's the other guy at? Is he around? I didn't show you the entire rim of my painting here because Mr. Foofy decided that he likes washi tape. And so you know what he's doing? He's big. He can get up to my desk. He could just put his paws. He's decided that he wants to eat the end of the part of the canvas that's hanging over my desk right now. And he ate the washi tape off. I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you a scan over of which way do I have to go now to do this? Wait a minute. Oh God, she's so dyslexic. This is not going to work where I scan it this way. I'm going to have to hold it up. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hang her up, and I'm going to come back because you got to see her. Oh my God, she's so gorgeous. Just one second. Okay, so first here's the culprit. There he is, right there. This is the washi tape culprit, and I had to lay it on the floor because it was not cooperating. So here is Miss. Let me see if I can zoom in on her. Ooh, wow, my camera is really high. Let's go down a little bit more. So here she is. Here she is. I only have one little section in her hair right there. You see it? Right there. And then there's the missing washi tape. He's so bad. I love the little snowflakes on her arms. But you see what I'm saying about the watercolor effect in the background, and then she's so pretty and vibrant up front. Oh, I can't wait to hang her up. I cannot wait to hang her up. I love the little bows on her muff. So sweet. So sweet. And there we have it. And the hubby walked in too. Like, I was like, oh no, 1 minute left and he's walking in the door. Okay, so if I'm not back, if you guys tell me to come back and do it on video, I'll do it on video. I'm getting ready to knock over water. There's just too much going on in the background. So create the world you want to live in. I'm doing it. I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for you. Crimson's on the way.